Good morning from the beautiful Italy. The sun is so gorgeous, I'm struggling to see a little bit. I've been here for a couple of days for a wedding. There's just something about the slow sleepiness of this small Italian town that has just got me hooked. That is literally LagomHolly in a nutshell. It's like LagomHolly goes abroad, literally as bob on as you could possibly get. So before I get too philosophical, before the day has even started, I thought I'd do a little bit of the morning routine that I'm doing whilst here. Still getting some movement in and things like that first thing. Just gonna get a little bit of a bodyweight workout in. Without further ado, let's get into it. Sweat is unreal. Jump scare. I literally feel like I'm in the land of the founding fathers of slow living. It has naturally made me reflect a little bit about just how different life really is, particularly for myself in England, where I am in this really small, rustic, sleepy little Italian town. Everything is really, really slow. In England, if you were paying for shopping, you're asking for a coffee and you want it like now. As we're here, they're like, oh, cappuccino, come soya. Okay. 25 minutes later, there it is. But I actually kind of love that. And it's naturally made me want to slow down and want to really just be more conscious of this whole need to rush all the time. But anyway, it is so beautiful here, and I do feel like when you come to these places, it does sort of change you a little bit, and I will be keeping my eyes peeled definitely for some little lessons and tips and tricks from the founding fathers of slow living, because literally I don't think you could get any more perfect than where I am. Sorry, it's really windy, oh my gosh. But they were just a couple of thoughts that I had, and no doubt about it, there will be very many more on the way soon too. Hello, this is a little bit of a different transition. As you can see, I am very much back in my little abode, my little cave. It was a little bit difficult because, as I did mention, I was in Italy for a wedding, so there was a lot of social gatherings, there was a lot of things going on. So although I definitely did get to have some really nice slow moments too, I apologize in advance that it was a little bit chaotic, the filming side of stuff, but roughly in a nutshell, I tried to emulate as much as I could on a couple of days my routine, because I'm a little routine rabbit. I love the same old, and really just wanted to try doing the same sort of stuff that I do here over in Italy too, and for a couple of days I did manage to do that, and it was really lovely. But of course, as I briefly mentioned, I could not have gone somewhere like that and not picked up on some little slow living lessons, literally being in the epitome land of slow living. I just want to quickly preface that, of course, I was on holiday there, I was there for a wedding, so I'm not saying I'm going to move to Italy tomorrow or encourage anyone else to do the same. These are just a couple of lessons that I observed, picked up on, and brought back with me that I'd love to share with you too. First one that I've noticed is that life doesn't have to be rushed to be meaningful. So this is something I've touched on before about not rushing, taking your time, the slowness of stuff, and probably out of everything that I've observed, this was top of the list. Naturally, that sort of small little Italian village, less things going on, less chaos, it naturally feeds into a slower way of living. Just when I was observing the locals, everything is a lot slower there. They take their time having their coffee, chatting with the neighbours, even just literally hanging out of the window, looking over the street. Just literally chilling, looking over their balcony, pottering about, watching the world go by. Which kind of goes to show a lot that they really are in tune with their environment, really are just in the moment and soaking it all in. So that's definitely one thing that I am very much guilty of when I'm living back here in England, that I don't really take the time to do little things like that. So I'm definitely going to make more of a conscious effort when I'm having my meals or my coffee to just be present as much as possible and not rush through the process. And although this can feel really uncomfortable and almost a bit strange for us, as I mentioned with the cappuccino situation, where it's just literally, oh, you'll get your cappuccino when you get it, when I sort of feel like making it. Imagine if that happened in like central London in Pret-a-Manger and you've got like a commuter there trying to get to work, trying to do this, that and the third. Literally all hell would break loose. And then it's funny because them being so nonchalant and chill almost makes you nonchalant and chill, and kind of just brought me back to the present moment too. I didn't feel any need to rush. It was just that really small reminder that not every moment has to be productive and fast-paced to be worthwhile. Obviously not purposely being like a snail and winding people up and procrastinating, that's totally different, but just taking the time to really be present in the moment where I can and not rush so much. Another little observation of mine that I picked up on was how simplicity creates space to notice more. So this sort of marries well with that first point, but being somewhere like a really small, rustic Italian town, that's foundation is just simplicity. Life certainly felt slower. The days genuinely felt really long, just because simplicity creates space to observe and notice more things that when we're rushing, when we're busy, when time is running away, more often than not just passes by. Little things like the architecture, the nature. There were these absolutely beautiful, really, really cute little swallows, thousands of them. I have never seen so many swallows in my life. Even just when I was sat reading my book or just having coffee, they were coming down and having a little drink from the plunge pool that was in our accommodation. And it was just really sweet. Even though, I'm not joking, I was thinking, my loves, that water must taste really quite disgusting. A mix of sweat, sunscreen, and chlorine. I wouldn't imagine that's very palatable, but they seem to love it and keep coming back for more. So who am I to say what is a swallow's preferred beverage? It's such a peaceful, lovely thing to watch and observe, and I feel like I don't do that as much here in England. Actually, day-to-day life is so busy. When we're doing things like working, we have to be involved in tasks, we have to be focused and locked in. But the takeaway is just more the notion that when life slows down, you don't necessarily do more, but you simply notice more. And that's definitely something that I'm going to try and implement a little bit more here too. And finally, the last one is that home isn't a place, it's a feeling. I'm not saying that you have to move to some really small remote town in Italy in order to get this feeling. Obviously, environment is a huge impact on us, but it was more the feeling that I was after and chasing. And I still feel like I can have that same feeling, maybe to a different degree, but here too in my day-to-day life in England. Just through little things like I constantly chirp on about on this channel, like the slow mornings, like the time outside, like having something really small and simple to look forward to every single day. Those little things bring about the same feeling that I was experiencing in Italy. What I wanted wasn't necessarily Italy itself, even though it is so beautiful and so gorgeous. It was more the feeling, and we do have access to that feeling day to day through little things, through little habits that we can implement here too. So I'm going to try and explore that a little bit more, and probably going to make a video on that too if you're interested, on bringing about that feeling really content and present in the day-to-day, even despite when things turn upside down, or the mundane moments, or when life feels a little bit stagnant. Just finding little ways to bring about that feeling too. So that's pretty much it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It is a little bit higgledy-piggledy because, as I said, the circumstances were a little bit different. I wasn't completely there for a relaxation. Definitely feel like I've taken some really valuable lessons away from the founding fathers of slow living. So I hope this was a little bit helpful and you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments any video ideas, any other things that you'd like to add on this topic too, because I always love hearing from you all and would love to know. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you can too. I really appreciate all of you taking time to watch this video and support this channel. Wishing you all a great day, and I will see you again very soon in my next video.